very happy Independence Day to all of you. So, for the evening, I'm Ankita Jha. I'll be your host for the session. तो आज है आजादी का दिन और नेचुरली एक सवाल तो दिमाग में आता ही है कि अगर सिस्टम में इशू है तो गलत कौन है, ब्लेम किसे किया जाए, सिस्टम को या माइंडसेट को. So here on Lyfex we have gathered to discuss a simple thing: accountability in India, broken system या broken mindset. आज हम ब्लेम गेम नहीं करेंगे, बस ये डिस्कस करेंगे कि ऑनेस्टली अकाउंटेबिलिटी कहाँ और किसकी होनी चाहिए. थोड़े से मे बी अनकंफर्टेबल क्वेश्चंस हो हमारे एंड से, बट जेन्युइन सवाल होंगे एंड वी जस्ट होप कि वी गेट जेन्युइन आंसर्स. कि बीइंग अ यूथ वी ऑल वांट टू नो व्हाट एंड whom should we ask. So let's start the discussion. Before starting a discussion, I will welcome the panelists. Miss Anchita Sharma, welcome to Lyfex. Miss Gunjan Bhandari, a very warm welcome to the platform.
Thank you.
Welcoming Sir,
Same to you.
welcoming Sir Ajay P Shetty on the platform. So we have three different personalities. Welcome, sir. Three different personalities and just one big question: who is responsible? So let's the conversation start, and we'll just start with 5 minutes first input, and then we can open the platform for group discussion. So we can start with Anchita Sharma. Ma'am, the platform is yours.
Hi everyone, this is Anchita Sharma, and first of all, happy Independence Day to all of you. And you know me from Alpha Omega as well. I hope so. You know me, and yeah, thank you so much for inviting me and giving me this opportunity to be part of this incredible platform. And it's an absolute privilege to share this stage with my esteemed co-panelists. So, shall I start with the topic? What are my opinions on this?
Yes, ma'am.
ओके सो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल अकॉर्डिंग टू इन माय ओपिनियन अकाउंटेबिलिटी की जब हम बात करते हैं तो जैसा कि आपने बोला कि हम ब्लेम गेम नहीं खेलेंगे, तो मेरे अकॉर्डिंग वो ब्लेम गेम ही है. जो हमारे ब्यूरोक्रेट पॉलिटिशियंस हैं वो ब्यूरोक्रेट्स को ब्लेम करते हैं, आगे ब्यूरोक्रेट्स हैं वो पब्लिक को ब्लेम करती है, तो फर्दर मोर जो पब्लिक है वो आगे अपनी किस्मत को ब्लेम करती है कि अरे ये क्यों नहीं ऐसा क्यों हो रहा है. बट according to me the actual scenario is system shape mindset, and mindset build the system. So if we talk about these two things की system broken system है या broken mindset है, तो मेरे according these both दोनों चीजें इक्वली रिस्पॉन्सिबल हैं और वो दोनों इक्वली इंटर रिलेटेड हैं, इंटरकनेक्टेड हैं एक दूसरे से. जैसे कि फॉर एग्जांपल अगर हम ब्रोकन माइंडसेट की बात करें, अगर हम ब्रोकन सिस्टम की बात करें, तो फॉर एग्जांपल मैं आपको एक एग्जांपल की बात करूंगी कि फॉर एग्जांपल एक फाइल 10 डिपार्टमेंट्स होके गुजर रही है, तो अगर हमें एक इंसान को उसके लिए रिस्पॉन्सिबल ठहराना, तो नो वन इज देयर टू टेक रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी फाइनेंशियली और लीगली. So there is Article 311 in Indian Constitution which states that कि जो government employees हैं वो आप उन्हें fire नहीं कर सकते for their incompetency. And if there is no fear of losing the job, then there is no accountability. So this is the thing which is there in the like kind of we can say in the broken system. But if we talk about broken mentality, there is one thing in my opinion. देखो जो पॉलिटिशियंस हैं वो आए तो हमारे बीच में कहीं आसमान से तो उतरे नहीं है वो. तो द थिंग इज जब आप इलेक्शन के टाइम पे वोट मांगने जाते हो, उस टाइम पे आप वोट देते थे कास्ट के नाम पे, रिलीजन के नाम पे एंड सो कॉल्ड टेम्परेरी फ्रीबीज के नाम पर. बट जब आफ्टर 5 साल फिर आप देखते हो कि रोड्स कहाँ हैं, बिल्डिंग्स कहाँ हैं, हेल्थ सेक्टर कहाँ है, वो कुछ नहीं दिखता, फिर आप उसके बाद ब्लेम करने लगते हो गवर्नमेंट को. तो दिस इज द ब्रोकन मेंटालिटी है, ये लोगों की ब्रोकन मेंटालिटी है जो सिस्टम को आगे बढ़ने नहीं देती. सो दैट्स द पॉइंट फ्रॉम माय साइड एंड आई वुड लाइक टू हैंडल इट फॉर द अदर co-panelists.
Thank you, ma'am, for your views. Now I would request Ajay sir to give his point of view on the topic. Welcome, sir.
Yeah. Hello. Yeah. Firstly, I'd like to wish everyone a very
happy Independence Day. And
Thank you,
when
sir. Same to you.
welcome. I think as we celebrate Independence Day, we have to remember that along with freedom, we have duties and responsibilities. It does not matter who we are, whether we are a citizen, whether we are a government, or we are a bureaucrat or an officer. So I think as long as everyone is doing their duties rightly, things can change. But since we have such a large population, what I feel personally is that the system is the thing that needs to be fixed. Because a strong system can take care of a lot of things. If a system punishes people who do the wrong, there will be a very strong accountability. And in turn, that will act as a deterrent for people to do wrong. And the system should reward people who are doing good. So we keep that in mind and we work in that direction. I believe we'll get to see a lot of accountability and we will see a lot of results being actually delivered on the ground. And our country, Bharat, looking at its journey, what I feel is that our institutions were not meant to actually serve the citizens of this country because we were in the colonial rule. If you look at the bureaucracy, they were meant to extract tax and collect revenue for the British Raj. And even the judiciary were not really meant to serve justice. So somewhere what has happened is while we did achieve political freedom on this day back then in 1947, has started, but still that mindset is there. And what needs happen in entirety is decolonization of the institutions. And the institutions must actually serve the people for whom they are elected. And people in general, they also need to definitely follow the rules and the procedures, yes, but they have a responsibility being in democracy to get such parties in power which would actually work for their benefit. So, and they have a responsibility also to be aware and keep the government in check by constant questioning and being a very responsible one at that and a constructive. So when the governments and the officers as well as the citizens, they all work together, I think we get to.
Yes, very wonderful point, sir. So
Thank you.
let's continue to the Gunjan Bhandari ji. So let's hear her views.
Perfect, perfect. Thank you very much, sir. Shall I start?
Yes, yes, sure, ma'am.
Perfect. Before starting, am I clearly visible and audible to everyone? You can just give a thumbs up or any emoji if that is okay because I've never used this platform before. This is my very first time. Perfect. Thank you very much. All right. Greetings, everyone. Good evening. My full name is Gunjan Bhandari. Today, I feel very delighted and I feel very privileged to be a part of this wonderful panel discussion that is hosted and organized by the Lyfex platform. And today, I feel very delighted to share the panel with such distinguished and talented personalities because Ajay sir, I know him from before this panel discussion. And ma'am, when I saw the poster, it was tremendous to saw your reels, to saw your videos. And being an independent journalist, first of all, kudos to both of you that you have been working onto your field. And I feel very delighted to share the platform with you today, with you both. Before moving ahead, I would just like to first talk about Lyfex platform a little bit kudos to this platform. Now going ahead with the topic, when we first hear about the topic, and when I first just view the topic and the diverse perspectives, that is accountability in India, in our nation, broken mindset or broken system. I believe that first of all I have to choose one stance, and I choose the stance that we have a broken system in India. Now I'm not claiming that we don't have a accountable prime minister, or we don't have an accountable ruling party here. I'm not claiming to that, but I believe that the broken system includes the broken system from the arena of exams, as we had a lot of paper leaks this very year, right? There were a lot of protests this very year, and there are a lot of things that are going apart from the politics that is in India right now. So there are different systems in India that need to be fixed apart from the political arena, or apart from the political field. Now, just going ahead with the topic, I would like to share one story with all of you. I believe that this story is one of the very precious story and very important story that I need to discuss, because if we not discuss this story today in this panel discussion, it will be incomplete of us to talk about the topic further. I will just take another few minutes of you all. There were 3 days before, one boy who was named as Kahan Patel, he was due to sit India's rescheduled medical entrance examination, which we called as NEET exam. 17-year-old Kahan Patel, he jumped from the sixth floor of his family's apartment building in the western city of Ahmedabad. And when we talk about Kahan Patel is one of those brightest mind we have in India, we had in India, who had a trophy for consistent academic performance in his room. Now, the only thing which was missing in his room was Kahan, that is labeled by his father after his death. Kahan was one of the at least 21 students who died by suicide, allegedly upset after this year's NEET, that is the National Eligibility Come Entrance Test, which was cancelled because of a question paper leak, which forced nearly 2 million candidates to take the examination again. Now, when we talk about any of these suicides, there is nothing but behind the politics were the families which were affected largely. The families of the students who attempted suicide just because after even giving the examination, there has been a news came that the paper was leaked. That is none of the mistake of the students in India. Now, when we talk about Kahan, that is the story of today's panel discussion. Kahan, he was not only very much active into the academic field, into the academic arena, but he played football for his school team. He devoured Harry Potter. He was a bunch of a lot of like a lot of professions in one person. He also had recently secured a US visitor visa. That means that he had already tasted success. But after the 2024 paper leak, why I am emphasizing on this? Because the paper leak has not been only in 2026. In 2024, there had been a paper leak, and after the 2024 paper leak, Kahan, he took the NEET exam as a practice attempt in 2024. But his performance convinced his teachers, his mentors, and and his family that yes, he is on track and he will be able to pass this examination in the very next attempt. Now, on 3rd of May, he emerged from the exam convinced that he had done enough, and he called his father saying that Papa, Daddy, I'm so happy and I'm feeling free now. I'm very much relaxed and I'm going for a dinner with my friends. I'm enjoying. Now, 3rd May is of 2026. That is this very year. That means that before there was a news that came of paper leak, he had already given his exam and he was very assured that yes, he will be able to pass that exam. Now, after the news came of paper leak, the news, he was shattered by that news. He didn't knew what was coming, and his father, his parents also just his fathers tried to shield him from that news, but how much longer? No longer. The When he got to know about that news, he was scattered. He also talked with his grandfather, he also talked with his family, he also talk about the what are the actions that has been taken by the youth, there has been protest this very year in the year 2026. We have a prime example of Jantar Mantar protest in New Delhi. We have different protest. We have recently going Jharkhand protest, right, which is not getting that much coverage, but we there are a lot of protests going in 2026. Now what is my aim of telling you that there has been protests going on, because we know that protests are going on. The major reasoning of me telling you that the protests are going on, that youth, there is no youth in this country that has a broken mindset. There is no youth that has a broken mindset that gets manipulated very easily. Because if the youth of India gets manipulated very easily, then it can be manipulated from different YouTubers that are making videos outside India against the Prime Minister or as well, right? So I believe that there is no youth in India that has a broken mindset at the current point of time, as they have recently in this year, after a lot of paper leaks, they have awakened and they are fighting for their rights. And we have seen the result. As one of the result, their demands has been fulfilled of the resignation of Dharmendra Pradhan ji. Now the resignation is not only the answer or the demand that they have been asking for. The demand that they have been asking for is their right of no paper getting leaked, of no unfairness in the papers, or no unfairness in the system as well. Now what are the steps that have been taken? Now, these are the protests that has been done by the youth. Now, second, what are the steps that has been taken by the system? There has been a bill that has been passed that is called the Public Examination Amendment Bill. That is the bill that has been passed in 2026 on 13th of July to update the 2024 anti-cheating law with much stricter punishment. That is the major step that has been taken by the Indian Parliament. The only reason of me telling you that yes, this step has been taken, that the system doesn't only include the politics or only the prime minister, because ongoing the protest we have seen that the youth is demanding, also they have been demanding the resignation of the prime minister. That is not the prime solution here. The first of all, the point is that the youth doesn't have a broken mindset, because there have been protests going on. They have awakened for only their rights. Second of all, the major reasoning of telling yes, that yes, steps have been taken. There is not only the political world that is broken right now, but there are different fields that are in consideration, and that must be in consideration with respect to a very much bigger and a very much structured India in the future. Because we are a youth of India that is in India right now, and I'm no longer looking forward to leave India. So I believe that in India we should stay in India, and we should look for the solutions in order to fix the broken system. That includes the different aspects, that include the political world, that include the examination world, that include the different arenas which the students and which the common youth faces onto day to day world. So I believe that yes, there has been system that is broken, and along with that there are a lot of solutions that we are after I will complete, there are a lot of solutions that we will discuss upon. And we should also build a platform where the solutions from the youth must be taken in order to look upon it in the parliament, and to discuss and deliberate by the ministers, by the parliamentarians, in order to discuss and take the perspectives from the ministers. And also just one last or one last solution I would like to quote, that if the system needs to be fixed, then we need young parliamentarians in the parliament. And for that, there should be a criteria for the young newbies, for the youth. For example, if I am a person who has been graduated in the year 2025, I should get a chance to contest for elections. At least there should be a percentage that should be elected in the parliament, in order to bring the voice of the youth in the parliament, and what are the solutions that the youth is demanding. Because if that would be possible, then there not must be any protest that should be going on the roads in order to seek as any of the action against the government or parliament or India. So I believe that we must be united, and for that we need to fix the system with many more solutions apart from the solutions that I quoted. That's all from my side. Best wishes for the Independence Day, and Jai Hind. Thank you very much.
Jai Hind. Thank you for your awesome point. how the three panelists to start.
Ma'am, are you asking how can we start the panel discussion?
Yeah,
All right. Can I?
yeah.
Sure. Ma'am, I believe that as all the three panelists have given their perspectives over the main topic, we can take questions from the audience if possible through chat box so that we could answer their questions as well. Or if you have any questions from the audience or from your team side, then we feel more privileged to answer those questions.
So we will open the open discussion, ma'am. But first, I want to see different perspectives. Some contradictory points, answers to your points raised.
Whosoever is speaking is not audible to me. Is this happening with you guys?
Yeah. It is
Yeah,
happening from my side as well.
it's happening with me as well.
Am I audible now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, now
Yeah,
you
ma'am.
are.
Okay, okay. I was telling कि पहले panel discussion शुरू कर देते among Ajay sir, Gunjan ma'am and Archana ma'am. And after that, we can open discussion for the public.
Perfect. So we are now allowed to share our any of the controversial or any of the points that we would like to include in each other discussions or deliberation, right?
We can cross question each other now.
All right, perfect. ठीक है. So I would request both of you if you would like to start with that. Any of the cross questions, then I'll carry forward for sure.
I don't think so. I have any cross questions for you. I totally agree with you. I totally agree with your point of view, and I'm extremely sorry for Tahan and the other 21 student who had committed suicide in
Right.
this so-called mess created by the R system. And yeah, that's all from my side. Please go ahead, sir, if you have any questions for Gunjan ma'am.
Sir, if you have any questions.
Sure. Sure, you have raised a very good, valid points. Now, looking at the solution point, it's been a very big problem, and I think different solutions are being brought up. One of them, I think, is no matter what I observed is what laws we pass in the parliament. In judiciary, there seems to be a lot of backlog to actually follow on them. I think
Right.
a major reform is needed in judiciary because see there are punishments for severe punishments for murder and so many other gruesome crimes. But this isn't happening because I think the process of conviction is taking very long. Somewhere I think the courts need to address that issues and even the parliament needs to speak to the courts so that cases are addressed very speedily and justice is delivered fast. To meet, I believe, one of the solutions that they've proposed to make sure that paper leaks don't happen is a computerized system. Because in I think IIT and JE exams, the system is completely computerized. I think in medical there is an issue because unlike engineering, when you have a MCQ question, in medical you need a little bit more explanation. So I think the infrastructure to completely computerize will be happening next year. I only prayed or wished, that it would have happened so soon. We had that capability so that no lives would have been lost. Because the only solution I see over here is computerization. Because it seems very hard to trust anybody. Because as long as there is somebody willing to pay for that paper, there is someone ready to be compromised for that. And looking at the convictions for the punishments, have taken up that chances, which is a very unfortunate thing. So, as much as possible, what I believe is in governance, what is needed is a better use of technology. You could have seen it
Right.
in even in the income tax filings. We now have faceless portals, direct benefit transfers, and so many things. What I think is, as long as there is some person or people involved in the process, the chances of leakages are there. So, system has to be an automated one, which is very transparent, which can identify where exactly the mistake is happening, so that we can close down that loophole. That I believe should be the focus of all governance, to be transparent, to be accountable, to be automated, technology driven, because the world has moved ahead a lot. We are talking of AI technologies and we have quantum computing coming in. So all the areas of the governments, they have to be technology driven with the latest things. So there is absolutely no scope for errors. Even in land, I see that when we are registering land, there are a lot of loopholes. It is the governments are working on them, but we have not got a full solution yet. So many times we've seen after the land is bought, then someone else files a case that okay, this land belongs to me, and because of that, the cases get stuck in the such. So we need a hassle-free, a tension-free, a very systematic process in all areas. And I think we have to work to pressurize the governments to do that. And another thing that I wanted to point out about this thing is, this may be a little bit of my personal thing. Today, what I think central government needs is a very responsible opposition. And I'm of a view that the current opposition is not responsible enough to get the necessary desired changes. There are definitely a lot of flaws with the current central government, but till the demands have been raised on this point, they have not been very responsible with it. So I just hope in the coming times we see more better responsible oppositions coming to work with the government along with it, rather than disrupting the parliament to get meaningful solutions. This is my point.
Perfect. May I have an opportunity to allow me to speak, ma'am?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead, please. Perfect, perfect. Thank you. As Ajay sir, you stated few of the very important and essential perspectives and aspects. I totally agree with your point, and I believe that your perspectives are very much valuable in today's age, Sharma. But one thing I would like to portray that one of the system that is very that holds very much accountability and very much importance in today's nation, that is India. We are forgetting to talk about that very system as well. As I already mentioned कि हमारे सिस्टम में सिर्फ पॉलिटिकल अरेना या पॉलिटिकल फील्ड मौजूद नहीं है, लेकिन उसमें हमारा एग्जामिनेशन सेल भी आते हैं, हमारी एग्जामिनेशन बॉडी आती है, हमारा दैट इज द फोर्थ पिलर ऑफ डेमोक्रेसी, दैट इज जर्नलिज्म, राइट? आई होप दैट मैम you will
Right.
also agree to my point because you also talk about very current and social issues, and I also do the same. With perspective to that, this is a question open to both of you and to the audience as well. And if ma'am, who is hosting today's panel discussion, if you have any perspectives, you are welcome to deliver those as well. My simple question is that journalism or the aspect of the field of journalism is considered to be the fourth pillar of democracy in India at the current point of time, right? With reference or with perspective to that, don't you think that when we talk about or when any of the youth, if we take an example of the current protest as well, in the current protest or in specific to the Jantar Mantar protest, there has been a lot of statements that have been against the government, against the prime minister as well. That has one statement was the resignation from the PM as well, from the youth protesting. So don't you think that whenever there has been a statement or any statements, any controversial statements by the youth of India, it is majorly or specifically termed as anti-national by a lot of people and by there has been no main media coverage in the Jantar Mantar protest even, right? So don't you think that the field of journalism has been captured by the political major or the heads right now, and it has been just overshadowed by them, and they don't have any individuality left in them at the current point of time, also being the fourth period of democracy. So I would like to hear your perspectives on that. Do you think, first of all, are the youth posting statements against the government, are they anti-national, yes or no? And second, do you think that it is diplomatic of the government or the ministers to term them anti-national with reference to that?
May I answer that?
Yeah, yeah, sure, sir. Why
Sure,
not?
sure, sure. Yes, yeah, definitely. See, the youth by default are very curious. They're trying to understand the system, and there are a lot of problems that they want to be heard. I believe it is the responsibility of the government to listen to them patiently and answer it. And you definitely cannot brand them as anti very wrong. So the questions have to be answered in a full effect. And whatever are the problems they're facing, it is the responsibility of the government to make sure that the problems are solved. And as far as the journalism goes, yes, journalism has to be free, and without fear, they have to ask questions. And that kind of an environment has to be created. And I see that a lot of journalists are doing that as well. And regarding the Janata Mantar protest, I would like to just add a couple of things. Same narration. See, Meta came to India and they apologized, said that yes, we have taken money and we have altered the algorithm. Yes, but we have not seen the same kind of enthusiasm by certain sections in covering the Jharkhand protest. Some people
Right.
who were there, and I'm saying both of them are equally important and had to be covered. The Jantar
Hmm.
Mantar as well as this. One advice to the youth that I have is, yes, protest against the government. It is your democratic right, no doubt about it. Raise the issues. But be careful with whom you are standing and make sure that your issues are addressed and the issues do not become a political fodder for somebody else. So we have that responsibility to make sure that it sticks to the issue and it does not get diverted. So I think youth in general has traveled a lot of universities and schools across the country and meet a lot of entrepreneurs. I'm very optimistic about youth and the future of our country.
Hmm.
And definitely, whatever we are planning to see ourselves in the coming years on a positive note, it will definitely happen. But when the problem comes, the government has to take the responsibility to listen to them, answer them, and solve their issues. And there are a lot of issues pertaining to educations on ground that has to be addressed. So I hope that in the coming time we can address it, and those issues are brought into the light, and I see that happening in the near time. But overall, I believe the government has to take a responsibility upon one particular thing is to make sure that the entire we have a very large population that is educated, because see
Right.
the youth, we have the largest population of the youth in the world,
The
and
literacy
that
rates,
can,
right?
yeah, exactly, and that can be beneficial for us and a strength only if everyone is educated, skilled, and make sure that they are contributing to the economy of the country and in a positive way. So the large responsibility of that lies in the government, and I think there's a lot the government has to do in this front. So let us all, I think, work together to make sure, because we all are associated with the different organizations and trying to bring meaningful changes. Let us do that. That's all I would say. Join hands together for that.
Perfect. Just last question from my side, if you allow me, and this will be for sir and ma'am, both of you. Please, I would love you to answer. I would love to hear your perspective, ma'am, onto that as well.
Okay,
Last
I'm
question,
extremely
if
sorry.
the host allows me. Yes, ma'am.
मेरा internet connection थोड़ा unstable था, so that's why I was
No
not there
worries, ma'am. No worries.
physically.
Perfect. Fine. I just want
I'm
this
extremely
answer
sorry for
from
that.
you, if you allow me.
Of course, you can.
Perfect. Sir, one of the second question that I asked you, you didn't answer that very, precisely in nature. But I would like to re-question that. Uh,
Please.
and this talking about broken system today, I believe that first of all, this particular stream needs to be fixed because many of the people relies on TVs and news channels to get information, right? And if they are getting misinformation, that is the very first thing that needs to be fixed in India right now. So with that very perspective, my question is very simple: do you think that journalism is has got overpowered or has got overshadowed by the political pressure? Yes or no? And if yes, then why? And if no, then why? And
May
how
I?
it can be fixed, if you would like love to answer.
राइट। तो मैं आई टोटली एग्री विद योर पॉइंट कि जो मीडिया है उसे फोर्थ पिलर बोला जाता है डेमोक्रेसी का,
जी।
एंड इट्स बीन टोटली डेड फ्रॉम पास्ट फ्यू इयर्स एज वी आर वाचिंग। बट फॉर एग्जाम्पल मैं आपको एक इंस्टेंस बताती हूँ, मेरे साथ क्या हुआ था। मैं अब ये प्रोटेस्ट चल रहा था, तो आई वाज सिटिंग विद माय फैमिली एंड माय फादर वाचिंग द प्रोटेस्ट ऑन द, वो उन्होंने लाइक जिस तरीके का पर्सपेक्टिव वो टीवी पे दिखाएंगे उसी तरीके का पर्सपेक्टिव आपका बन जाएगा। तो वो दिखा रहे हैं कि नहीं पुलिस उसमें गलत नहीं है, बच्चे गलत हैं, वो एंटी नेशनल
एग्जैक्टली।
एलिमेंट्स हैं, वो बाहर से आए हैं, वो कुछ दहशतगर्द, वो जो है ना, वो बाहर
एंटी
से आए हैं और
नेशनलिस्ट, या।
एंटी नेशनल, हाँ यू कैन से एंटी नेशनल्स। तो वो उस पर्सपेक्टिव में बिलीव करने लग जाते हैं। क्यों? क्योंकि मीडिया उन्हें दिखा ही वही रहा है। इवन
हम्म।
व्हेन जब मैं उन्हें बता रही हूँ कि नहीं नहीं पापा ऐसा नहीं है, कि ऐसा ये सब चीजें
हम्म।
सच नहीं है, वो उल्टा उस चीज पे ओफेंड हो जाते हैं कि नहीं नहीं अरे नहीं ये
हम्म।
क्या है, आप मतलब आप उस चीज पे गलत हो, एंड जो टीवी पे दिखाया जा रहा है जो इतने सालों से हम देखते आ रहे हैं ये पर्सपेक्टिव ये गलत कैसे हो सकता है।
या।
तो द थिंग इज कि ये जो मीडिया है इतने चैनल इतने टाइम से, और वो एवरी मीडिया चैनल आज के टाइम पे आई डोंट थिंक सो कि वो अपना सही तरीके से काम कर पा रहा है।
मोस्ट
जो
ऑफ
काम
देम।
उन्हें असाइन है, हाँ मोस्ट ऑफ, या आई कैन से मोस्ट ऑफ देम,
We
बट या
cannot say
देर आर सम
100%,
इंडिपेंडेंट,
but yes,
yeah,
90%.
of course, there are independent media channels which are doing their job. For example, there is News Finch who has
We
like
have Peak
Abhinav
TV.
sir, पीक टीवी, यस पीक टीवी, जिन्होंने बहुत अच्छे तरीके से प्रोटेस्ट को कवर किया, सच्चाई दिखाई
Right.
है। केके क्रिएट, शी इज वन ऑफ द क्रिएटर, शी इज एक्चुअली वन ऑफ द बेस्ट क्रिएटर। तो जिन्होंने पूरी कोशिश की है सच्चाई दिखाने की, जो सच है उसे लोगों के सामने रखने की, बट स्टिल कहीं ना कहीं मैं इस चीज में बिलीव करती हूँ कि लोगों का माइंडसेट भी उतना ही यू नो लाइक मैटर करता है जितना आप वो सिस्टम, क्योंकि अब माइंडसेट ही लोगों का इस तरीके से बन चुका है कि जो सिस्टम ने उनको शेप किया है। फॉर एग्जांपल जो मैंने आपको बताया, ये अब उनका माइंडसेट में कैसे चेंज करूं, ये जो माइंडसेट
So,
ऑलरेडी
ma'am, do
उनका
you
बन
think
चुका
that
है।
journalism or most of the news channels, they have got overpowered by political pressure,
ऑफ
right?
कोर्स दे आर,
Yeah.
यस यस ऑफ कोर्स,
Yeah.
आई टोटली
And
एग्री,
ma'am,
आई टोटली
yeah,
बिलीव दिस।
what could be the solutions from your side? Because I have been also working on that, and I would love to have your perspectives over that.
सॉल्यूशंस तो जैसा कि सर ने बोला, एक
It cannot be
हमें
fixed.
ऑफ कोर्स सोल्यूशन तो जैसे सर ने बोला, वी नीड फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल वी नीड स्ट्रॉन्ग अपोजिशन।
Yeah.
हमें स्ट्रॉन्ग अपोजिशन की एट दिस पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम हमें बहुत ज्यादा जरूरत है, जो स्ट्रांगली आवाज उठाए, खड़ी हो सिस्टम के अगेंस्ट। अभी इसी पिछले प्रोटेस्ट में आप देख लीजिए, अब फॉर ये कांग्रेस है हमारा कितना सॉलिड, मतलब वैसे राहुल गांधी खुद को एक बहुत सॉलिड फिगर बताते हैं, बट उस टाइम पे वो कहाँ थे जब हमारे स्टूडेंट्स प्रोटेस्ट कर रहे थे, वहां जंतर मंतर पे बैठे हुए थे, डंडे खा रहे थे। उस टाइम उन्हें तब याद नहीं आता कि ठीक है कि हमें स्टूडेंट्स के लिए स्टैंड लेना है, उनके साथ खड़े होना है वहां।
Hmm.
लेकिन हाँ मतलब आई बिलीव कि फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल तो ये एक सॉलिड अपोजिशन की हमें सख्त जरूरत है इस टाइम पे प्रेजेंटली, इस चीज को सुधारने के लिए,
Right.
ताकि वो क्वेश्चनिंग क्रॉस क्वेश्चनिंग हो, गवर्नमेंट से क्वेश्चन पूछे जाए, गवर्नमेंट आंसरेबल हो। क्योंकि इस टाइम पे गवर्नमेंट, मुझे ऐसा लगता है, दिस माय पर्सनल व्यू, कि पूरी तरीके से वो लाइक उन्हें खौफ ही नहीं है किसी चीज का कि ठीक है हमें कोई आंसर कर सकता है, एंड वी आर लायबल टू आंसर दोस क्वेश्चंस बीइंग आस्क्ड फ्रॉम पब्लिक।
They feel they are
सो
not
दिस इज माय
accountable.
पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू, या
Hmm.
this is
Right.
my point of view and this is personal one, so
Right, ma'am. Absolutely right. Sir, your perspectives?
You're asking my perspective, right? About journalism.
Yeah, the question that I asked, if you would like to answer.
Yeah, sure. You're talking about the journalism is being overpowered by the government, right?
Yeah.
So definitely, see what happens is, I totally agree with you. Whenever I look at, because I like to look at things from a very neutral perspective. there are sides in journalism, very evident. Like, I would not strictly classify things as right and the left wing, and then there is a neutral, because usually the Western media is the left wing. But there are certain them who they idolize, be it an influencer or an anchor or anyone. So what I see is even with the viewers, they go by a certain news channel, or they go by. So some people may have a certain news channel, say like a Republic TV, and then there were the old NDTV. So what we see is generally, I think it's also about the people. People like to hear what they want. For example, like while we talk about journalism, and I think they have built their base around that narrative. Like, there are certain actors. For example, if I had to give you two extremes, you have Ravish Kumar and then you have Arnab Goswami.
Right.
So, like, for example, like, see, there is a possibility that, all of us may not be right at all the time. There can be times when yeah, because we all have our views, we view through it, and for different people, we may be right or wrong. But what I see is also about the viewers. They have a certain ideology, they have a certain mindset, and they prefer to watch channels or influencers or anchors who subscribe to their view. Because a lot of times I see that when their views don't match, you hear them saying, "I'm gonna unfollow you, I'm gonna not listen to you." So I think somewhere journalists are also worried, because it's a bread and butter business that they've chosen as a profession. So I think to stay relevant, they also sometimes side with the government or sometimes side with their followers. So the journalists also, I think, have a responsibility, like how we talk about accountability, to try to be
Right.
free and fair, irrespective of what their viewers feel, irrespective of what the government in the power feels. So if they also take that accountability onto themselves, I think that would be better. And to answer your question, yes, journalists are being influenced. Definitely, yes. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Uh,
Welcome.
Now we can open the room for everybody. Ask questions.
Ma'am, I'm so sorry, but your voice is cracking a bit from my side.
Am I audible now?
Yeah.
तो अब हम open room कर सकते हैं for the public. I request everybody to ask questions in the panel. They'll come. Hi, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so I was very interested in asking one question. I was just waiting for my chance. So I have one question. Like everybody of most of you were like the accountability है तो broken system है, which I also agree. But don't you guys think कि कहीं ना कहीं हमारा mindset भी थोड़ा सा इसका reason है? Like Gunjan ma'am was saying कि हमें इंडिया में रह के काम करना है, but the fact is youth हो, millennial हो, alpha हो, 80% of them अगर given a chance, they will quit India, they will try to run away. So I mean, where is our mindset? Why don't we want to serve our own country? Why don't we want to stay in our country? What's the problem?
Can I start with my answer if it's okay with everyone?
Sure, sure. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Please go ahead.
Thank you. Pragati ma'am, first of all, hi. This side Gunjan. I hope you liked all of our perspectives and you are not offended by our perspectives, first of all. Ma'am, my answer to your question would be very simple. First of all, thank you for your question. Ma'am, see, आपके question में ही आपका आंसर है. आपने अभी मुझे बोला कि क्या आपको नहीं लगता कि आप अकाउंटेबिलिटी की बात कर रहे हैं पिछले 50 मिनट से और हमारा माइंडसेट ब्रोकन है क्योंकि अगर अभी हम आधे से ज्यादा मान लीजिए 99% यूथ को अगर हम मौका देते हैं अब्रॉड जाने का तो वो इंडिया छोड़ के जाएगी. ठीक है. यहाँ पे माइंडसेट का इशू है लेकिन वो माइंडसेट बना कैसे है आप ये देखिए. माइंडसेट बना इसलिए है क्योंकि अकाउंटेबिलिटी उनको नहीं मिल रही है. आप मेरी बात समझ रहे हैं. अगर उनको देखिए जैसे मैं अगर आपसे आप मेरे से सवाल पूछ रही हैं. ठीक है. मैं आपको जवाब उसका नहीं दे रही हूँ तो आपका एट द एंड आपका एक कनेक्शन टूट जाएगा हमसे. राइट. यू विल बी नो मोर इंटरेस्टेड इन लिसनिंग टू अस. राइट. कि हम आपका आंसर ही नहीं दे रहे हैं. right? So that is the main question. Your answer lies in your question कि accountability जब तक नहीं मिलेगी तब तक youth satisfied नहीं होगा, और जब तक youth satisfied नहीं होगा तब तक वो इस देश में रहना नहीं चाहेगा. Of course, we are also not someone who will stay in a home where disrespect is there, right? We don't want that in a society. On the other side, yes, accountability is a very first priority. If that will be fixed, if the broken system will be fixed, there is no issue in the mindset. Mindset changes from person to person and from situation to situation. So that would be my answer. First, accountability, and then the youth mindset will be changed for sure. Thank you. Over to sir and ma'am.
Can
Ma'am,
I
if
answer?
I'm allowed, can I ask one thing? So just I have one point. I heard ma'am's point of view. So I just want to ask
Right.
one thing, like, yeah, you are right कि हमें accountability नहीं मिलेगी तो we'll be disheartened. But don't you think कि I mean like even if we talk about America, like everybody wants a green card. बट आई मीन दे ऑल्सो बिल्ट देयर कंट्री. ऐसा नहीं था कि अमेरिका में सब कुछ बहुत अच्छा था और उनको बनाया बनाया भगवान ने दे दिया. दे बिल्ट, दे टोल्ड, दे वर्क हार्ड बिकॉज दे लव देयर कंट्री. देयर ड्रीम इज अमेरिका फर्स्ट. हमारे इंडिया का ड्रीम क्या है? अमेरिका फर्स्ट. सो वेयर इज इंडिया इन बिटवीन?
मैम आप मुझे एक चीज बताइए जहां पर जो आपका एजुकेशन मिनिस्टर है, आई एम जस्ट टेकिंग एग्जांपल, डोंट टेक मी रॉन्ग, जहां पर जो एजुकेशन मिनिस्टर है, ठीक है, और जहां पर पेपर लीक्स हर ऑलमोस्ट हर साल होते आए हैं, एजुकेशन मिनिस्टर को खुद इस्तीफा दे देना चाहिए. एक उनके इस्तीफा लेने के लिए जो एक्शन तक नहीं ले रहे हैं कुछ भी, राइट, पेपर लीक्स पर, उनके इस्तीफा लेने के लिए करीबन एक इंसान को कई दिनों तक भूखा रहना पड़ा, कितने प्रोटेस्ट चले, और उसके बाद जाकर इस्तीफा मिला है. तो आप क्या समझते हैं मैम कि क्या उस देश में अगर यूथ मेहनत करेगी या यूथ ज्यादा बोलेगी तो क्या उनको पावर मिल जाएगी? एक इस्तीफा लेने के लिए इतने लोगों को इकट्ठा करना पड़ा, इतने लोगों को साथ में जुड़कर एक मांग रखनी पड़ी, उसके बाद जाकर, क्योंकि इट डिफर्स फ्रॉम कंट्री टू कंट्री. इवन आप अमेरिका का कंपैरिजन इंडिया से अभी काफी एस्पेक्ट्स में नहीं कर सकते. आई एम नॉट टॉकिंग अबाउट द रिसोर्सेज और एनीथिंग, बट आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट द कंडीशन, राइट? आप इंडिया का अगर बात कर रहे हैं तो यहाँ पर आई बिलीव दैट द सिचुएशन इज वेरी मच डिफरेंट, एंड द वेरी मेजर सॉल्यूशन नीड्स टू बी दैट द सिस्टम शुड बी फिक्स्ड फर्स्ट. काफी सारी प्रॉब्लम्स वहां पर हैं, और एक बार अगर वो ठीक होता है, ऑफ कोर्स यूथ इज आल्सो वर्किंग. आई एम नॉट सेइंग और डिनाइंग दैट यूथ शुड नॉट वर्क. यूथ इज वर्किंग फॉर देयर फ्रॉम देयर एंड, but there should be accountability, and there should be a voice given to the youth so that they cannot be caught anti-nationalists just if they put out their perspective, right? जहां पर आवाज उठाने पर आपको आवाज दबा दी जाती है. वी ऑल्सो हैव अ लॉट ऑफ जर्नलिस्ट एग्जाम्पल. मैंने खुद मेरे सामने काफी जर्नलिस्ट की न्यूज देखी है. सिर्फ एक न्यूज, एक सच्चाई बोलने पर उसको मार दिया जाता है जान से. तो उस चीज में आप बात कर रही हैं कि माइंडसेट पहले हम ठीक करेंगे. मैम मुझे लगता है कि पहले सिस्टम ठीक होगा, उसके बाद ही कोई अपनी आवाज उठाने के लिए नहीं डरेगा, और उसके बाद ही यूथ इकट्ठा होगी. क्योंकि मुझे लगता है कि 2026 से हमें वो चेंज दिखना शुरू हुआ है, और आगे अगर सिस्टम ठीक होता है तो ये चेंज हमें जरूर और लाजमी है कि हमें आगे और अच्छे से देखने को मिलेगा. एंड द यूथ इज वर्किंग एंड पुटिंग आउट देयर पर्सपेक्टिव्स वेरी लाउडली नाउ. सो दैट इज ऑल फ्रॉम माय आंसर. But sure, I'll get back to your question in the next very panel discussion with very strong perspectives also.
May I answer that or
Sure, sure, sure. Yes, please, क्योंकि sir, I wanted to ask one more thing. I am sorry, I think I am being very inquisitive. But जब हम
I
बात करते हैं ना कि मोस्ट ऑफ द एमएलएज एमपीज के नाम हमें पता नहीं होते हैं, यू नो हु आर काउंसलर्स, वो क्या काम करे. द पॉइंट इज ओके, आई एग्री विद जंतर मंतर एंड एवरीथिंग, बट द पॉइंट इज हम सीधे चाहते हैं कि हम प्राइम, क्योंकि बिकॉज यू नो पॉलिटिशियन, I don't know, sir, whether you are also in into politics, but I think from your attire, I can deduce that. So, but the more than politician, it's government officials जिन्हें हमें पहले responsible करना पड़ेगा. And for that, people need to start asking questions at ground level. That would be my point, because जब तक हम ground level पे शुरू नहीं करते ना, क्योंकि कोई भी कुछ like गड्ढे, simple सी चीज है, गड्ढे. तो अब जाके हम ट्रांसपोर्टेशन मिनिस्टर का जाके इस्तीफा लेने लगे, वी आस्क हिम टू रिजाइन, मेक्स नो सेंस. Rather, the people who are responsible at the ground, we should start holding them, and that's the mindset. And yes, ma'am, so definitely I'd like to hear your point also.
yeah, Yeah, I would like to answer some points that you raised to the question. So the first thing is that every country has its good and bad. And as far as a lot of youth wanting to leave the country, I do not really agree with that. There is definitely a large section of people who want to leave the country, provided they get a good job over here. They would definitely would like to stay here. And another thing, what I feel is there has been a portrayal of that kind that the grass is greener on the other side. I have so many friends in the. Am I audible? Hello.
Yes,
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 sir,
sir.
you are.
Okay,
Yes,
yeah,
yes, you are.
audible. All right, sorry. So see, what happens is I know so many people in the USA who want to come back to India. The one thing I think two factors may be a reason why some of them would want to leave is there are not enough specialized jobs over here in our country. And I think the more we get into manufacturing and start making technology and less being a service provider, that will change a lot. And speaking of America, safety is a very big problem in the USA, contrary to what we think. And as far as the rights, I believe in India you do have actually a very reasonable right to raise your voice, because it's not so good and what do you call all good factor as people think. Okay, I'm gonna now leave and go to Canada and I'm gonna meet America and that is paradise. That's not what it is. You have a lot of issues, you have a lot of problems, and you're not really that free to raise your voice on certain things as we think they are. They have their own